You get violated initially when you get raped, and then you go through the second violation, which is all of the court staff, everything with the police.
This woman has been counting the days since she reported a string of sexual assaults to police. By the time her rapist admitted them in court, she'd waited 1,398 days.
What have those 4 years been like for you?
I got diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Had to leave a job that I loved. I've been unable to get involved with anybody romantically. In my family, we've had to put so much on hold. It's just taken so much away from me. The trauma that I've experienced from the justice system, I would say, is on par, if not worse, than the initial trauma I experienced from him.
What does need to be done?
I don't know whether it's out with the realms of possibility to consider weekend courts. They're not realising that this affects us 24 hours a day. It keeps us up at night.
The delays are also affecting legal teams defending the accused. We joined defence lawyer Darryl Lovey at Livingston Sheriff Court for the day.
The court had selected 3 priority trials, none of which were mine. And I've just discovered that none of those trials have proceeded. All have been adjourned as a consequence of COVID. There's a courtroom sitting empty there for the rest of the day. I have all of these clients who are now going to have to wait until April, May, June for their cases to recur.
The courts have made some adjustments with remote custody hearings and remote jury centres, for example, and more changes are planned.
Domestic abuse accounts for about 25% of the cases in the court system, and we are trying to see, is there a model we can move to where we do that in a virtual environment, where we don't actually bring people into the courtroom, but we have proper trauma-informed practices in place. We already have a recovery programme that's really stretching everyone's resources to the maximum. To run Saturday courts, we would need additional judges, prosecutors, additional defence agents, for sector representatives, the impact on the prisons. But essentially, I think there would just be too much pressure on the system.
The Scottish Government's new vision for justice says victims should be given a more prominent role.
We have to look for new ways to reduce that backlog wherever we can. And in doing that, we're engaging with all our partners like Victim Support Scotland to see if they have suggestions as to how we can do that. So we are very keen to focus on the backlog. We've allocated around, I think it's around £188 million additional this year for that purpose. And we realise that it can have a real impact on victims.
In a statement, the Crown Office said it understood the compounding effect of delays and uncertainty and pledged to learn from victims and witnesses to inform changes.